What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another trader interview on the Blue Guardian YouTube channel. Today, we're joined by Dr. Wakiko, who is actually a dentist who trades with Blue Guardian, and it's really interesting. And I think there's a lot of things that we can dive into and chat about. So, Doctor, could you give us more of like a background on your trading and how you got into trading? Was there somebody who introduced you into trading, or did you just like hear about it on the internet?
Well, as a dentist from the Philippines, I faced challenges when the pandemic began, as people were not allowed to leave their homes. So during this time, I explored different ways to generate income, and I came across forex trading. So, like most newbies, I went to the University of YouTube to get a strategy. So, when I looked at YouTube, I saw a lot of forex traders gaining a lot of money, and then the algorithm just showed me a lot of big payouts from Instagram and Facebook, something like that, and made me hooked.
Right. So basically, it was just social media that you caught on to everybody. I mean, I think it was also similar to me. I mean, my trading started really kicking off during the pandemic as well, and I mean that's when we learned our most. And also, obviously, the market was super crazy, choppy. Everything was just tanking if you're trading like US stuff. And so I think there's actually a lot of people that ended up getting into trading. Some of them made quite a lot of money as well. Um, so essentially, it was just um, straight up with the social media that got you into trading, right? Did you start off with like did you know about prop firms to begin with? Because I mean, I know since then prop firms were around, or did you just fund like live accounts and then trade those?
Well, I just funded live accounts before, my own account. I think I saw prop firms in one of a fellow trader in the Philippines after a year from trading.
Okay. What's the whole industry like in the Philippines? Are there a lot of like dodgy people that promote trading? Are there a lot of valuable? Are there people that provide value? What's the overall industry like there?
Well, in the Philippines, it's not really that well known for now, the forex trading, because a lot of people here think that forex is a kind of a scam, or you cannot really gain much of it because it's like gambling. So in the Philippines, it's not really that regulated. No forex firms here as of the moment. But I think it's starting to grow on people now that there is income in the internet, in forex in general, crypto
Right.
as well.
Right. When did you end up getting funded with Blue Guardian? When did you pass your
Well,
evaluation?
actually, the story behind the Blue Guardian is that I found them actually in your YouTube channel, sir.
Oh,
I
amazing.
was yeah, because I'm subscribed to you in YouTube. And again,
Cool.
thank you for showing us a lot of strategies there.
Yeah.
And then I was curious about the Blue Guardian because of the Guardian Protector feature. So
Right.
last May of 2023, Blue Guardian had a promotion of 50% off of their 10,000 USD account. So I grabbed that opportunity to test the firm. So because we know that Blue Guardian is a fairly new prop firm, I think they rebranded this year.
Right.
So, and we know that there are a lot of new prop firms out there. So I wanted to try the lowest account first and check if
Right.
they are legit. And as
Right.
soon as I got the phase one, yeah.
Right. How was your experience when you did went so far with Blue Guardian?
Well, as soon as I got the phase one credentials, it was fast as the normal prop firms, and I traded it immediately. And then I like the dashboard. It's very simple and easy to use. I like the spread. It's almost raw. I think in Euro USD, it's around zero spread, 0 to 1, and
Yeah.
almost the rest are all almost very low. and especially the Protector, wherein it kind of saved me from taking a revenge trade after my third
Okay,
consecutive loss. Yeah,
cool.
and
Yeah. So you had the feature on where it hit your max, your limit, and then it cut you off for the day, right?
yeah, I always put 1% there in the Guardian Protector feature.
Okay.
And then if it hits, I'm going to trade the next day. I'm not going to trade.
Okay.
So I like that.
So you
I
didn't
like that
so you
feature.
didn't use it just to protect your account, but it's also just you know your risk management and psychology. So it helps you. It just cuts you off from doing those revenge trades and continuing to trade, extra. When it's your emotions and not your logic in play. So I haven't heard of anybody doing that just yet, but I think you're the first one, and I think that's also why that feature is there. To cut you off till the next day and keep you safe. But you can also use it as like a psychological tool, not just to keep you safe. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
so do you usually trade Euro USD, or are there other pairs that you also trade?
I only trade Euro USD. As far as my backtest goes, I think my strategy has the highest win rate on Euro USD.
Okay,
And
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 you'll
especially the spread. The spread is really good. It's
yeah.
zero in Blue Guardian, so that's good.
Yeah, that's also why I like to trade Euro USD a lot of the time. You can have a really nice, very small stop loss, and you can get away with it because the spreads are so low. I mean, as long as you're not trading news or anything like that, where the spreads sometimes widen or there's a bit of slippage, you can really get away with trading with a very, very low stop loss, and I like doing that as well. And people sometimes criticize me. They're like, "How do you trade with a low stop loss like that? What about the spreads?" And I'm like, just use a good prop firm, use a good broker that will let you trade like that. So I've also benefited from that a lot as well personally. So what sessions do you usually trade there in the Philippines? Is it specific sessions?
Well, because in the morning it's usually the Asian session. And then starting 3 p.m. here in the Philippines, it's the London session will start. So because I'm a dentist, what I do is I schedule my patients in the morning, and then when it comes to 3 p.m., the rest of the patients will be done by my associate dentist. So I
Oh,
trade
cool.
usually the London session.
Oh, cool. Cool. Yeah, it's interesting when you have to try and fit trading around your lifestyle. I also had a similar thing, but I literally worked retail. I wasn't I wasn't a dentist, but I literally had my phone under the table and I just traded like that. And it's interesting how people fit trading into their general lifestyles and those kinds of things. But I think it does help as well because if you're just sitting in front of the charts all day, you can find trades where there aren't trades, and then you end up taking losses that are unnecessary. What kind of strategy do you use when you trade?
Well, I just use the basic flip zones, the
Okay,
support turn resistance or the resistance turn support. And I
okay,
back tested it, and then I saw a good win rate on the London session, so I traded that specific session only. So what I did was back test for a year and then forward test for 3 months, and then I checked which sessions are the most I mean the session that I kept on losing, so I removed that from my trading plan, and then I traded only on the session that I gained the most wins.
right. Yeah, I think that's really important, and I think that's a step that a lot of traders just skip completely because they don't collect data. They don't know which sessions work best. They don't know which pairs work best. They don't know if maybe there's a certain characteristic of certain pairs that they should avoid, and those kinds of
Yeah.
things. And people just want to straight away make money. They're not willing to put in the work, and I think um, that's where a lot of people go wrong, and they're obviously in the market to do to for the wrong reasons. They just want to make money quickly. They don't want to become a trader. They just want to make money. You know what I mean? People,
Yeah.
I think there's a difference between people that enjoy trading and turn trading into not just not just a hobby, but they turn it into this whole, you know, discipline that they continue to take part in, whereas other people just want to make money. And I think that that's the big difference. And those are the people that obviously won't make it. Do you think that, being a dentist and having to deal with patients that are maybe sometimes not so easy to deal with, or maybe instead of because becoming a dentist, you really have to work hard to become qualified in those things. Do you think that your background affects you in a positive way when it comes to being a trader?
Well, it affected me in some good ways and some in bad ways because me as a dentist, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. So I want my work to be done in a specific way, and I want it to be always beautiful, and the patient should always like it. But in trading, there's no perfect setup. So in the first few months, it's been really hard to accept those losses. But at the end of the day, just have to really do the hard work, because in dentistry, you just can't you just don't get to read a book and then after a few days you get to treat patients. You just need to do the work, you need to practice, and I think that's the same thing with trading. So I did really practice a lot of times and months just to gain that proper mindset.
Yeah, and I think it's also a thing of discipline as well, because I mean, being in the medical profession, you have discipline because you've gone through extensive, training, you've gone through extensive, you know, um, studies, and I think that a lot of people just aren't prepared to do the work. I mean, for example, in the community that I run on Discord, I have a gentleman who's retired and he used to be in the US Air Force, and he is by far one of my best students. He's just disciplined. He's willing to put in the work and he's willing to learn and he's willing to take the time to get things right. He doesn't, he's not looking for results straight away, and he really, has the discipline and not just that mental fortitude, because being in the military, you really have discipline and mental fortitude and your mind is strong. And I think it's the same with people that are in the medical industry, and anybody that has studied for a long period of time and put in work into any kind of discipline. But I think in particular, if you're in the medical industry, and I think that that has probably served you pretty well. I don't know if you would agree.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely agree on that because and one more thing, if I may add, in dentistry, I get to earn, right, an income. So I just waited on the in the income. I didn't rely on forex trading to be a source of income. I treated forex as a hobby at first, something to study, and with the dentistry here bringing the most of my income, I didn't really rely on forex. So I guess that really helped with my psychology.
Right. I think that's also a really important point. I think a lot of people jump into trading and then they make it their full-time thing way too quickly. And if you do that, you're bound to fail. If you are placing all of your trust in trading to make you a steady income, especially right off the bat, you're going to be psychologically in a hole and you're not going to be able to get out of it. And so I think that that's really important. I also learned that early on in my journey as well. I quit my job a little bit too early and I started trading. And what I found is that my account at that time, I had a 100K account and I went into some significant drawdown, like really bad drawdown. And that obviously stopped me from earning for multiple months. And what I did during those months is I slowly but surely built that account back up from very, very far drawdown, like 7%, all the way up to profit. And then, whoops, I'll just get my guy to edit that out. So I built it up from almost 7% drawdown all the way up to break even. And then I still made profit and withdrawed. But it took me about 3, 4 months to do that. And I risked very small amounts, risking 1/4% or even sometimes less than 1/4%. And in doing that, I proved that I have an edge on the market because over 3 or 4 months, I was profitable and I managed to make, with small, and I also trained my brain. So I managed to turn that like bad situation into something that I learned from. But some people will just dig a hole for themselves because psychologically they're like focused on the outcome of every single trade to try and earn money. So I think that that's the main thing. When you have another source of income, you're not focused, you still could be, but you're less likely to be focused on every single trade, the outcome of that trade, rather than the process of trading. So if you focus on
Exactly.
the process of trading and refining your data and refining your actual trading itself, yes, did I follow the rules on this trade or did I not follow the rules on this trade? If the answer is yes, I followed the rules on this trade, then that's a good trade, regardless of whether it wins or not, whether you make money or not. So I think people miss out on that and they focus too much on the outcome of each individual trade. And so obviously, for you keeping your job, obviously, which I don't think you're looking to get rid of anytime soon, but it's for you having other income. It affected your trading in a very, very good way, and it was the same for me. After I got out of that situation, I managed to diversify my incomes, and that made my trading even better. But I was actually glad to have gone through that because I proved to myself that my strategy worked over a long period of time. And it also taught me how to risk manage properly because let's be honest, the first withdrawal I got was pretty much luck, to be honest. And that is what I, lived off of. And from there, I proved to myself that it wasn't luck. And I think that that's also important. That's why I think back testing and forward testing as well is important because the forward testing is when your emotions are trained, when you're trained to look at the markets and make decisions based on your logic and not your emotions. Whereas back testing trains your brain to see that over a long period of time your strategy works. But then obviously forward testing is now a whole different thing. What's your approach to back testing and forward testing?
Um, Actually, when I started trading, I search a lot of strategies in YouTube's. I get to strategy hop when I see it losing or having consecutive losses. So that time I realized that um, I think probably trading is not for me. But when I get to learn from one of my mentors on how to to really do the proper planning, back testing, forward testing, that's the time I started to see light for I mean a probable success in trading. So how did I back test? So first I tried to back test a strategy in all of the sessions every day. I see how many times it will show up on on a specific day or in a specific session. Then next, I'll try to check how it's going to win per session, or how many wins it will generate per session. So I'm going to I got to put everything in a spreadsheet, and then after backtesting for a year of the strategy, of course, in that 1 year, I'm going to pick the trending months. So in that trending months, I get to see um, where this strategy is going to work or not. So in that spreadsheet, I'm going to try to therefore conclude in what session my strategy is going to work. So in the three sessions, London, Asia, New York, if my strategy works well in London, I'm going to trade in London session. And of course, I need to see if the strategy or the session I'm going to trade would fit my lifestyle. Because if the strategy works in the New York session at late night, definitely I'm asleep. I cannot do that because I have patients the next day. So of course custom it should be custom tailored to my lifestyle. So if the strategy is not custom fitted to my lifestyle, I won't use that strategy. So even the time frame, I cannot look at it in the 1 minute charts, because definitely if there is a patient that is I need to attend to, I cannot look at the 1 minute charts, or I cannot really execute the trade. So in that backtesting process, I really chose a strategy that would fit my lifestyle. So that's it.
Right. So
And then
so how would
yeah,
you say how would you say that you ended up fitting your strategy around your lifestyle in general?
yeah. So when I got the strategy, I saw that with my strategy currently, I can definitely do patients in the morning, and then after 3 p.m. at the London session, I can now start trading. So of course, that strategy should really have a good win rate, at least more than 50% of 100 samples, at least more than 50%, and then just wait for the risk reward ratio to to do its part.
Right. So yeah, it's essentially you're just looking to trade like a small gap where you do get a gap and then you've basically worked that into your day.
Yeah.
And I think as well, like I say that as well, like that's the reason why, for example, when I'm showing people how to trade, I show them multiple different entries on different time frames, different styles that work on different sessions, for example. So like there's New York kill zone, there's London kill zone, there's strategies where you can enter on the 5 minute, 15 minute, you can set alerts. And so yeah, I think people often be like, hey, which strategy are you trading? Why are you showing all these different strategies? And I'm like, it's because everybody lives a different lifestyle. Everybody wants a different entry criteria that works for them. And so I think that it's important to firstly work your strategy around your lifestyle. Secondly, a strategy that works for your risk tolerance. So you as a person might want higher risk reward and a lower win rate. And that's fine. Find a strategy that works in that parameters. But you might also want a higher win rate and a lower risk reward. And so for me, I had to find a balance in that as well. With your strategy, do you look for a higher win rate and a lower risk reward, or the other way around?
I try to when I back tested and forward tested, I chose a strategy that would give me more than 50%. And I always target only 1:2 risk reward ratio. So if I risk 1%, I should gain 2% from that trade.
Right. How much do you usually risk? Usually about 1%?
Usually 1%. Always 1%. I've been successful with 1%.
Okay, cool. And I mean, in terms of your drawdown, what was the highest drawdown you've seen on your accounts when you've been risking 1%?
Um, I have a specific strategy in terms of risk management. For
Mm-hmm.
example, on my first trade, I get to loss on that trade. I get a loss on the first trade, so definitely my equity will be down 1%. On the next trade, I will be again risking 1%, but my risk reward ratio will be 1:1. So in order for me to get that
Okay.
1% immediately, and then after that, as soon as the account balance is up or at the starting balance, I always use 1:2. Because when I try to reach higher risk reward ratios like 1:5 or 1:3 or more, definitely the win rate goes down. But if I try to just take 1:1 or 1:2, it's easier for me to win or stop the consecutive losses.
Right. And obviously you adapted this. Was this purely for your psychology, or was it just something that you found worked best with the strategy overall and gave you a better win rate or a better profit at the end of the day?
Well, it's a mix of both, because it's actually hard to lose most of the time, and getting 1:2 is the fastest way to win, because I know for a fact that I am still a beginner. I am still learning in the markets, so I may not have that. that professional psychology wherein it's okay to lose 70% of the time as long as you have a high risk reward ratio. I cannot do that because what if I have a 30% win rate, even though I have a very high risk reward ratio? But for example, you have a 30% win rate, but if I am losing 70% of the time, definitely it's going to mess up my psychology. So I just try
Okay.
to get the higher win rates.
How would you said you've collected quite a bit of data. What would you say overall is your win rate, if I can
It's
ask?
around Yeah, it's around 60 to 70% win rate. It
Okay,
goes higher
that's
with
great.
1:1.
That's great. Yeah. So you would say 1 to 2 is better than 1 to 1 in your opinion, unless you're in drawdown, right?
Yes, yes.
And you do that specifically for your psychology, just because you want to get back to break even. You'd rather take the 1 to 1 than shoot for the 1 to 2 and risk maybe it going back to break even. Do you go break even on your trades?
No, I don't go break even in my trades. Even take take partial profits. No,
Hmm.
because I only target 1:2, so it's easier to get 1:2. Definitely, if you're targeting 1:10 or more than that, definitely you're gonna need to get
Hmm.
partials or something. But in my back testing, using the trading view, so I didn't get to put any break evens there. It's just TP or SL.
Right. Yeah, it's the same for me. I'm very reluctant to take partials, especially if I'm doing a smaller risk reward trade. But I mean, those longer risk reward trades, if you're looking for literally like a 1 to 10, and then, I mean, sure, you can take partials. But then you have to remember that it isn't really a 1 to 10, then, is it? Because you've taken partials off. So your risk reward is a little bit skewed. What is your opinion on taking partials? Is it just something that you didn't work with on your plan, or is it something if you had to advise somebody, would you advise them not to do that? Because it's a
Well,
pretty there's a lot of people that are on one side and a lot of people on the other side.
well, actually, what works for me might not work for you, or it's the other way around. But I guess if you really try to backtest your strategy and see that your strategy really works well with longer risk reward ratios, then probably getting some off the table is good. But with me, I just target a few pips from the market, so I just want to get the probably the entire thing, not take off some from the trade. But if you're swinging the trade, remember that the market is goes up and down, goes up and down. So probably get something off the market. Pay yourself probably.
Right. In terms of um your trading journey, how long did it take you to get to that like aha moment? You said you learned from a mentor. When did you start to get to that point of, hey, I think I've got something going here? You said you went from strategy hopping from one strategy to another. When did you start to feel like, hey, this could work out? How long did it take?
I actually started September 2021. 2 years ago. So I did a lot of hopping. And then when I got to burn a lot of accounts, that's when I realized that I need to learn from specific mentors. So I learned from a lot of mentors actually. I enrolled with a lot of mentors. So if I may say their names,
Of
is it
course.
okay? I said their name.
Yeah.
I learned from LP trading. He's one of
Yeah.
them.
Rest in
And
peace
then
to Usman.
yeah,
Unfortunately, yeah, it's very sad news that to hear of his passing. I'm still shocked by it, and seeing
yeah,
like people like Raja Banks posting about him. I don't know if you know Raja Banks, but he's one
yeah,
of the big people in the industry. He was posting about him. They were supposed to have a podcast as well. I just had a podcast with him. So yeah, it's very sad news, and it really does speak to how you have to, in this industry, you can be under a lot of stress, so you have to really take care of your health and those kinds of things. Um, but
exactly.
yeah, you carry on, man.
Yeah, and if I may add with Usman, he's a really
Yeah,
nice guy with from the mentors I have taken, or the mentorships that I have taken, he's the he's one of the guys that really replies to you, even though you're a mentee. Because some of the courses that I have enrolled, I won't say their names, they don't
Mm.
really reply. But Usman really replies and really helps
Yeah,
everyone, and he wants to really make everyone profitable. So
yeah,
yeah, I learned from him. I learned from Raha Banks as well. And then
yeah.
I took some courses here in the Philippines, SMC courses here in the Philippines. Um, and then I tried to learn from ICT, and then I got the mentorship of Paladin as well. Actually,
Okay.
I didn't stop from taking mentorships from a lot of people, because I think the value that they're giving in the community is something that I want to at least learn and try to apply in myself. But in all of these strategies, the mentorships, there I think there is only one thing that they are common about. It's actually the risk management and the psychology, because in one of the mentors that I am in, he actually posts some of his trades in the Discord group, the signals, but it does not really win. It wins sometimes, it loses, it lose sometimes. But if you come to really analyze his trades, he does not revenge trade. He doesn't trade beyond his trading plan. So it's really all about the trading psychology and the risk management. So that aha moment for me was actually last year, around May as well, when I finally found out that it's not about the strategy, it's actually the risk management, because it would only take one loss to really destroy the profits and the account.
I think I think that psychology and risk management really go hand in hand. And if you've got really good risk management, your psychology is going to be so much better because you know that your trades are going to work out long term, and especially if you've back tested that data as well. So I think for me the main thing and the order of events is you back test with good risk management. That then allows you to trade the real markets live with data and the knowledge that your risk management is going to work out. So you stick to your risk management, and then your psychology just fixes itself. And I think that that's what people do. I just don't think that they have the discipline, and to be honest, neither did I when I started. I just eventually built it up by many years of firstly losing, then coming to the realization that you need to start back testing so that you can build your psychology. And once you've built up that mental fortitude, that you can then go back in and apply that in the live markets, and you stick to it more because you've seen the data. And then from there, your psychology just completely develops. And I think that those are the best steps you can take to build your psychology. Um, in terms of from your side, when you started trading, right? If you had to go back in time and speak to yourself and say one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
Probably don't be too greedy. Don't be too greedy, because I encountered a lot of greed when I was trading. I tried to reach for the stars. I tried to really try to double the account, the live account that I have. I tried to double it and over risk everything. And definitely greed will kill your account. So just don't be greedy. That's it.
Right. Right. And would you say that that was your one of your biggest challenges? Were there any other challenges that you faced when you were trying to, make it in the industry?
Yeah, definitely. And one another thing is my ego, and because it's actually hard to accept losing. You analyze the charts, and then you finally see that your trade is not going as planned. Definitely you're going to hold on to that losing trade, and then holding on that losing trade will probably blow your account. So accepting a loss is hard for me. So that's another factor. Probably the psychology is the hardest part of the
Right.
trading journey.
Right. And then in terms of your journey so far with Blue Guardian, do you have like any intentions to scale your accounts with them? You've basically tested them out. You took your account and you made 6% on it, which is amazing. That's really, really good results. Like I keep saying to people, making 3, 4% a month is possible. It's possible to do, but making 5, 6, 7, 8% in a month, that's not something that happens all the time. And I think that you did a really good job. Um, or do you have plans of scaling your accounts with Blue Guardian?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, I have recommended Blue Guardian to a lot of my friends here in the Philippines. So I think I've recommended it to 20 people already. They already bought
Amazing,
a lot of accounts in Blue Guardian. So definitely I want to
amazing.
help Blue Guardian as well, because if you are a trader that is probably uh uh doing a revenge trading or something, probably Blue Guardian will definitely help you with their Guardian Protector. So
Right,
when I posted them, Blue Guardian, I told them that I I told my friends that if you are having a hard time with the revenge trading, Blue Guardian will help definitely.
right. And now, of course, Blue Guardian has unlimited time limits as well. So that really makes a big difference. And I feel like a lot of other prop firms with time limits make end up making people rush and then over leverage their accounts. So now that there's unlimited time limits, I think that with all of those features of Guardian Protector protecting you from over trading and potentially if you make a mistake, right, blowing your account and violating the account. I think having that as well is just it's like game over. I think being able to just stick to your risk management plan is so much easier when you know you've got all the time in the world. Like I say, every month you're not guaranteed. Well, it's very unlikely that you'll hit that 7 to 8% mark. It's very hard to hit that target every month. Hitting 3 or 4%, however, is quite doable. So if you need to take 2 months to pass, you can, and that's I think that that's been a big thing. What do you think about prop firms and time limits and being unlimited?
Well, having this unlimited feature, no time limit, definitely eases the the trader that they need to pass in a certain amount of time. Because example, in my strategy, I look at the higher time frames. I need for the price to go on that specific level. So definitely, if the prop firm has a time limit, I'm going to rush it or I'm going to increase my lot size. So probably the risk management and the psychology is going to be harder for me. So having this unlimited thing is going to be a great improvement in a lot of traders for sure.
Right. Yeah, I think psychology wise, it really, really helps. And it just lets you know, hey, there's no reason for me to rush and up my lot sizes and go crazy. Um, Again, like I feel like that rule was put into place by a lot of prop firms to, force people to panic and then start to, break their rules. And I think not having that is just another way that Blue Guardians really like trying to help other traders and help them be successful in general. And that's why I really like trading with them. They really do look after you well, and I'm really appreciative to them so far for my journey as well. Um, so yeah, I mean, dude, it was really amazing chatting to you. Thank you so much for coming on. I
Thank
think
you.
that you have a really, really promising future with the way that you're trading and the way you've built your psychology in such a, I mean, I won't say it's a very short period of time. I mean, it's basically 2 years, but I think that what you've achieved in 2 years is really great. It took me 4 years to achieve that same mindset. So, yeah, really well done to you. And thank you so much for coming on to our little show here. I think that in future, we're going to see you doing some great things with your Blue Guardian account. And I look forward to seeing that, man.
Thank you. Thank you for that, man. And
Cool.
and and
So,
and by the way, Sir Ethan, I actually recommend your YouTube to my friends here in the Philippines, because you really teach the ICT. You make it very simple. You make it simpler
Awesome.
because when they ask for a strategy, I I tell them that use ICT, but they tell me that it's so hard to watch, and then I refer them to you because you made it simpler. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly why I do it the way that I do it. It just makes it easier for people to digest. But yeah, so thank you so much, Dr. Wakiko. Thank you so much for being on and chatting with us. To those of you guys watching, thank you for watching. And if you like this content, please do subscribe down below. Hit the bell icon so you know when we upload new interviews with the traders so that you guys can learn more yourselves. And see you guys in the next video. Cheers, everyone.